All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a wildly entertaining, unapologetically sharp look at the absolute absurdities of modern life. We're diving into the core themes of this brilliantly cynical book by Max and Claude called All the Stingy Jokes. Listen, if you've ever felt like modern existence is just, a series of expensive subscriptions, exhausting social obligations, and totally confusing technology, well, you are definitely in the right place. Think of this as your fast-paced, slightly existential survival guide to the world we literally all inhabit right now.
Okay, let's dive into this right at the source. The author set the tone literally on page 1 with this idea. They aren't here to make you comfortable. Actually, scratch that. They define comfort itself as this lazy, overpriced luxury. The whole premise here is to stop holding back all those sharp, stingy observations we usually keep quiet in polite company. They're just laying bare every uncomfortable truth and packaging it up into these bite-sized, incredibly cynical reality checks.
Section 1. The Price of Modernity. Tech, Truth, and the Cheap Seats. To kick things off, we really need to strip away the polite fictions of our tech-obsessed society. Take the cloud, for example. It's a deadpan punchline, but wow, is it incredibly accurate. We talk about it like it's this magical, ethereal dimension where our data just floats securely in the sky, right? But by defining it simply as someone else's computer, the authors brilliantly shatter our misplaced, almost naive trust in modern tech. It just totally strips away the marketing jargon and leaves us with the slightly terrifying reality of digital privacy.
And honestly, this cynicism extends to all our daily gadgets. Let's rapid fire through a few of these. Podcasts? The authors point out they're just the universe deciding to record literally everyone's opinions. Smartphones weren't actually invented for communication, they were invented so we have something to stare at to avoid making eye contact with our own thoughts. Social media? Pure proof that giving everyone a voice maybe wasn't fully thought through. And we have now reached a point where our smart refrigerators are actively judging our 3 a.m. dietary choices. It seems like our technological advancements mostly just highlight our deepest insecurities. And this brilliantly illustrates a much broader theme in the book, how capitalism basically charges us a premium for super basic concepts. Take brunch. It isn't some profound cultural milestone. It's literally just breakfast. But you add alcohol, and suddenly you can charge a massive markup. It's wild. The authors use this to point out how easily we get manipulated into paying extra for things that have just been rebranded with, well, better marketing.
Section 2. Labor and Other Sufferings. Surviving the Hustle.
We spend a huge portion of our lives at work, and the authors have some incredibly sharp translations for the language we use to just survive it. When a company tells you, we're a family, they translate that toxic office speak into what it actually means. We expect you to tolerate things no healthy relationship would ever accept. It's basically a system that violates your boundaries under the guise of loyalty.
And it definitely doesn't stop there. Corporate jargon gets meticulously broken down. Let's circle back. Yeah, that's just polite office speak for I desperately hope you forget about this. And unlimited PTO? Oh man, the authors view this as a total psychological trap. It's a tool for extracting more labor by applying immense social pressure so that you never actually take time off. The language of modern labor is entirely designed to sound empowering, while fundamentally just benefiting the employer.
Then there's the broader hustle culture that infects our lives outside the office. We completely romanticize exhaustion, but the authors deconstruct this with an unbelievably sharp existential observation. Treating "I'll sleep when I'm dead" as a mantra or a business plan ends exactly how it sounds. It is a fast track to burnout, and it's sold to us as a badge of honor. Absolutely wild.
Section 3. Love in the Digital Age. Shopping for Humans.
If you think the workplace is tough, wait until you see modern romance. The authors captured the absolute transactional nature of online dating perfectly. Think about it. We swipe through human beings based on a few photos and a brief bio, essentially shopping for a partner. But, as the book points out, this process breeds the unique traumas of modern intimacy. Why? Because the products are heavily filtered and there's exactly zero customer service desk when things inevitably go wrong. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the book reduces complex, highly idealized romantic concepts into brutally honest domestic realities. Take the 5 love languages. Here is their cynical translation. Words of affirmation? Just admitting you were right. Physical touch? Handing over the TV remote. Quality time? Agreeing to watch your partner's terrible show. It strips away all that romance novel fantasy and leaves us with the highly practical, slightly resentful realities of actually sharing a life with someone.
Section 4. the wellness industrial complex, expensive snake oil, and getting old.
So why are we all so stressed? Well, because we're desperately trying to stave off chaos, suffering, and physical decline. Part of that chaos is family life. The authors frame raising children as essentially 1/3 logistics, 1/3 love, and a massive 34% just staring into space, wondering how your own parents made this look so incredibly easy. Spoiler alert, they didn't. They were just as lost as we are. And this chaos just builds into the physical toll of aging. Look at this chronological betrayal of the human body. In your 20s, you have that totally toxic hustle energy. By your 30s, your primary motivation in life is a violent desperation for a nap, and by your 40s, you're making involuntary noises just getting off the couch, and you're not even sure which body part made the sound. This inevitable decline is exactly why we are so incredibly susceptible to wellness marketing.
We literally want to buy our way out of aging, which leads to this rapid exposure of the wellness industrial complex. Wellness is really just our health anxiety monetized and sold back to us at a 400% markup. Detoxes? Totally a scam. Your liver already does that for free. Green juice costs $14 and tastes like punishment because we've somehow convinced ourselves that suffering is the only way to be healthy. It is a system perfectly designed to sell us expensive placebos to combat the timeline we were just talking about.
Section 5. Existential Dread and Acceptance. Optimistic Nihilism.
So, if technology is spying on us, work is a trap, dating is terrible, retail and our bodies are actively betraying us, where exactly does that leave us? It all boils down to this. What is the meaning of life? This is the ultimate existential question that all of these cynical aphorisms and jokes are ultimately trying to help us cope with. When all the shiny distractions of modern life are stripped away, how do we actually face the void?
The authors answer this with a series of brilliant philosophical one-liners. Meaning is simply whatever keeps you from Googling the meaning of life at 3 a.m. The universe, it is completely indifferent to your suffering, which is rude, but, consistent. And free will is just the universe's way of giving you someone to blame when things go wrong. And unfortunately, that someone is you. So the crucial point is this: if nothing actually matters, then you can't really fail. Accepting the total absurdity of it all can actually be incredibly liberating.
We're going to end our explainer with this final, incredibly provocative thought straight from the conclusion of the book. Nothing matters. Everything matters. Both are true. Live accordingly. It's a really memorable note of optimistic nihilism. If the universe is indifferent, you get to decide what holds value. So, knowing that the rules are basically made up, the tech is totally flawed, and the game is rigged, how will you choose to live your life today?